What's up YouTube? It's Mr. Ferguson here. We got a little rain coming down, so we'll talk about what all this is and how we're enjoying it and loving it. And yeah, let's talk about post seeding and now for a lot of you germination. Now what should I be focused on? What are some of the things I've done with my fescue lawn? Let's talk about it real quick on this Monday video. Thanks for clicking on it today. What's up guys? Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. We are on the front porch under the little bit of shelter we have here at my home. As you can see, man, this is probably the hardest it's coming down. Well, I've got it on cinematic mode so you can't see it as well, but man, the rain is really coming down. The hardest I've seen it come down. I'll stand to the side here because you'll see we got this little tropical system, depression, whatever, coming through right to the east of where I am. I think the edge is just now starting to get close to where Pete is, but I don't know if his little test plot there is going to get any of this rain at all. So anyways, we're getting a good amount of rain, a great rainmaker, and it's a high of like 62, 63 today. It's incredible. Like after 90s, 95, and we dipped down to 80s, and now a high of 62. It's incredible. I feel like I'm up north with some of you guys. So thank you for tuning in today. So we're going to jump right into it. I'm just thrilled to see this because at our project lawn, if you haven't checked out those videos, we need rain. We got well water there. The pressure's not great. But man, all of this rain saturating that ground, I won't have to water it for a couple of days. It's going to be really soft in some areas. And we've got germination. We told you about that last Friday video, so go check that out. But I wanted to, obviously I can't get out in the lawn, but I wanted to mention first before we get into the topic, I did, before this rain came yesterday afternoon, I had some plans for somebody to come visit this weekend. It didn't work out, but I did lay down a very, very small amount, like a quarter of a pound of nitrogen more onto my lawn, and I did crack open the HCU. I did so little, I didn't film it, and I had a time out there in the back. I spilled it. I was like, man, how did I do this before? We've got a hint of the urea out there, so with this rain, we'll talk about it and show you that later. But I wanted to address some of you, a lot of you out there have been overseeding. Now, I've overseeded certain parts of my lawn, like I've taken the little garden weasel, tilled up some ground, put some seed down. I've still got a box of peat moss, and I cover it with peat moss, and I'm hoping with this rain, man, it really kicks off the seed around the edges of my back porch and stuff. But many of you have been overseeding. You're like, okay, now what? And I hope this don't offend anybody, but it's true. Any idiot like me can grow grass. It's just the truth. Like, we can throw our seed out, and this is why I say that. Any idiot can grow grass. This is why I say that. And I'm not calling you idiots, so please don't misunderstand me. When I worked for, and I still work for the same company, but I worked for specifically the utilities department in Wake County, we would go around, we would dig up water meters, we would dig up the lines that run from the main to the meter. We would do different projects, right? There was a time where we found a water line running under a driveway. We had to tear the guy's driveway up, and the city had to pay for it or something. But basically, long story short, when we come and destroy ground, we have to level it back out, we had to rake it back out, we had to landscape it. So a lot of where my passion and my love comes from some of that. We took that contractor's mix generic seed and we would just scatter it along, and I love doing that part because I love sowing the seed. And this was before I started the YouTube. And then we would we'd get a bale of straw or hay and throw that on top, and we'd come back a week, 2 weeks later, and boom, there's green grass all over that place. And it looks better than anything else, because you know, when your grass comes up, that fresh brand new grass looks better than some of the existing weeds everywhere, right? And so again, any idiot can grow grass. And I say that, you know, as long as the grass, now we were turning that dirt up, right? We were digging down in the dirt. We refilled the dirt. We took out big chunks of rock. We put seed down. It's supposed to grow in soft ground like that. So I say any idiot, if we're trying to have an existing lawn that's compacted and we throw seed on it, it's not going to grow. So there are things we have to know and do to grow grass seed, but many of us are very capable of growing the grass seed. What I have learned over my lawn care journey and why this channel got started, why I documented everything I did, it was like, okay, wow, that was easy. I smoked off all of my backyard. I smoked off all of this existing lawn that my dad had planted previously for me for deployments and things I was on that I tried to grow. I bought seed off Amazon at one point. I bought seed at Lowe's, Home Depot. It was a mix of just all different kinds of cool season grasses because I always stuck with fescue. But it's a blend of everything. Well, when I killed it off and I did what Alan Haynes said. I aerated it with a core aerator. I put my seed down. I put down some starter fert that same day, and granular starter fert. It came up and it looked beautiful, and I didn't feel like I really did anything but follow the directions of somebody that knew what they were talking about. So I felt like I was an idiot, and this idiot was able to grow grass. Well, now comes the challenge. Now is maintaining it, because with maintaining it comes a whole different set of, not every idiot can maintain a lawn. And that's where I failed multiple summers. I failed in multiple ways. And when we fail, that's when, okay, knowledge bank, boop, let me pop that card in. Don't do this because this happened. Or I've told you guys the story countless times, but we always have new subscribers. The first thing that I learned is I'm not doubling down on this guy's lawn. I had a lawn care plan through Alan Haynes, right? But I said, and I've said it many times on my channel, I'm not doing the whole fungicide thing. I just feel like that's extra money. We're on a budget. I'm on a city job. She's a preschool teacher. We don't have the money for these extras like the biostimulants, or, you know, that's extra. RGS is extra. Fungicides, that's extra. I don't need to worry about that. But I kept reading in the book, it says many fescue lawns, you know, get fungus. And I was like, well, whatever. Well, my dad never did that. I'm not going to do it. That's exactly what I did. I didn't mess with fungicides. I didn't know anything about it. And guess what? I got fungus right here, and right behind my truck. That's where it started. I said, what is this like orangey, tingy stuff? Oh crap, it's fungus. And I said, well, lesson learned. And immediately, the very first year, I learned this is part of maintaining that grass that I grew. Now, how do I take care of it? Kind of like if you guys have children, you bring home your kid. It's like, oh crap, like, I knew my wife was pregnant for 9 months. We read about it. We've seen other people with babies, but now this is my baby. Like, I'm the one it comes to for hungry, change diaper, go to the bathroom, shelter, food, all that. Oh my gosh. And for some of us, that weight can be pretty immense. Like, the weight comes on us. Crap, I'm responsible. Some people leave. Some people can't handle the pressure. Many of us don't. We say, okay, let's do this thing. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Let's do this thing. Very small way in comparison with that. That's how we are with our lawn. We grow the grass. Oh crap, now what do? I've got the grass, and that's the purpose of this video. What's next? What do I do next? Well, we've talked about this in several videos, and the very first thing is, don't panic. Get yourself a lawn care plan. That's the number one thing. If you're new and starting out and you're like, and you're making excuses, but you're having these things, Mr. Ferguson, you hit me, you're preaching to the choir. This is what I've been thinking. Well, now what do? Well, get a lawn care plan. In a lawn care plan, whether it's GCI Turf, whether it's Alan Haynes, the lawn care nut, or somebody local, whatever it may be, as long as it's cool season grass and matches something in your area would be ideal. That's why I choose Pete. He's North Carolina. I'm North Carolina. It gives you, when soil temperatures do this, you should be doing this. When soil temperatures reach this or drop to this, you should be doing this. These things are optional. These things are not optional. It guides you. And I used that lawn care plan for the first year. I went back to it the second year. The third year, I was like, I kind of look at it. But what's next? I would first tell you to go lawn care plan. But immediately coming to mind and what I've done after aerating, after growing my seed, number one, be patient. Again, we've talked about that when, oh Lord, do I need to throw more seed out? Do I not need to throw more seed out? Is it going to germinate? Is it not going to germinate? Let's not throw a mower on it. We're so anxious and so excited. I know the feeling. I'm anxious to do that at the church, but it's just way too early. Don't get your mower, number two, don't get your mower on your lawn way too early. Be patient. Wait for that grass to get a good, measure it out. See, make sure you're a good 4 or 5 inches. Give it time to get those roots deep. Mowing is so critically important. It needs to happen. And we want to get as many mows in before winter or very cold temperatures and soil temperatures come in. If you're up north, that's more of a thing than down here in North Carolina. But we want to get as many mows in because that tells the grass at the plant, hey, they're chopping me up top here on the surface. Let's put more energy in down growth than up growth. And so mowing is important, and we want to try to mow it. Once it's time to get that first mow going, you want to try to mow at least 2 or 3 times a week. You're cutting a little bit off, training that baby grass. Roots, keep diving roots. Applying, third thing, apply something like CK. And why specifically CK? Because in the recent Alan Haynes lawn care video, or lawn care nut videos, he's done these sand table examples. grass. He's taken plugs of different grasses, applied biostimulants, and the one that made the biggest difference was CK. It helped with root development and growth. It made the roots fatter and deeper and helped it to absorb more nutrients, and the humic acid helps unlock that in your soil. So biostimulants is the next thing. While maybe you're waiting to get that mower on there, get you a $50 bottle of CK. We'll have links to GCI below. We'll have links to that below if you're interested in buying it through the channel to help me out here. But if not, wherever you get it, apply some CK. Apply some more RGS for root growth. If you didn't apply a heavy dose of starter fert, you may be getting close to maybe you want more starter fert. That's where we tell you to go back to what your last soil test was. Do you need to be adding phosphorus, more phosphorus, or was that shot of phosphorus when you laid down the seed enough? And now we can move to something without phosphorus, like a 2100, like a 2808 flagship. Something different. That's where the soil test will tell you that. And that's where we get a little help from our soil test. What type of fert do we need? Don't get on it too quick, but when it's time, when it's getting 4 to 5 inches, and if you've got 4 to 5 inches over here, but you don't have 4 to 5 inches over here, it's still struggling, but it is coming in, let the 4 to 5 inch area get a little taller and wait for the slow areas. We're only as fast as the slowest person, something like that, what you say on baseball, football teams, right? We're only as fast as the slowest person. So don't get ahead of it. Well, this section's 6 inches tall, but this section's an inch. I'm going to run over all the inch grass to get to mow that. No, let's just wait. Let's be a little more patient. Let's let that grass grow up and then slowly start chopping it back down. And it's cooler, so you can go to that 3 inches if you like it, 3.5 inches. But here's something else, and I'll start cutting it off because I could talk about this for a long time. But being that we're in cool season, we're in fall, remember, Poa annua is beginning to germinate as our temperatures go down. North Carolina, 1 September, 30 October, 80% of our Poa is coming up. If you guys overseeded, that means you didn't apply a hardcore pre-emergent like dithiopyr, dithiopyr, or prodiamine, which means Poa begins to germinate. So again, you've got Poa germinating, so the lower you cut it, studies have shown from the NC State extension that when we cut our grass lower, 2.5 inch fescue, 3 inch fescue, and the sunlight is able to hit our soil a little easier, that helps to germinate weed seed like Poa annua. Keep that in the back of your head. If you're applying Etho 4SC, if you're applying Poa Constrictor, that may be something to help prevent that, where you can cut lower. You can cut your new grass lower if you like it at 2.5, 3 inches. It's a little low, but 3 inches. And then you're also applying Etho 4SC to try to prevent and kill Poa. That's a strategy. That's something. We'll have links to that below. All these things we've talked about previously to prepare you for such a time as this. We're getting to almost October. It's crazy how fast time flies. And I'm seeing it at the church. I'm seeing some areas back here. I'm watching it that I may need to still grind up and plant some seed before we get too cold in the back. If it don't start popping up from summer, I'm going to have to do some planting in some areas, not the whole yard because we've applied the dithiopyr. But we'll find out. So I hope this helps some of you get the wheels turning. Lawn care plan, patience with getting the mower on there. Wait for that slow area to begin to come up more. Biostimulants, specifically RGS, CK, be applying those. That's what I would be working on now. And then when we get about 30 days, depending on how much nitrogen you put down, how much fert, we're looking at our next fertilizer application in October. So I'll leave a link just to GCI. You can go find all these things on their website. If you're interested, again, it does help the channel in a small way. But thank you guys. I hope this has been a 16-minute video. I don't feel like I've talked that long, but thank you for tuning in. Hope it helps you. Leave your questions, your comments, lawn veterans, something I forgot. Throw another lawn care tip in there, and you guys congregate and talk in the comment section. Thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoy this Monday about what do we do now. Now you got some things you can work on. God bless you. We'll see you on Wednesday. Take it easy.